Hello and welcome back to Press Start. I'm Andrew, and joining with me are these lovely people.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
Hey, I'm Sky.
Yo, I'm Carson.
What's up, everyone? I'm Griffin E. Brandon.
Yeah, and I don't know, guys. I think something happened this week as we're recording. I don't know what can it be?
Well,
Oh,
you didn't die.
I know
That's true.
I know what happened.
I know what
happened.
Wait, Carson knows what happened.
The Pow World dating game came out.
I know what happened.
No.
I know what happened.
What?
I believe a certain movie came out.
Five Nights at Freddy's?
No.
Yeah,
It
the
didn't
trailer-
come out.
Sneakers came out.
Guys, I think he's talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct that was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah,
how
the
silly of me.
big debut of the Switch 2. So there was a whole Direct that happened, and today we are going to discuss our thoughts on the Direct and additional information that came out afterwards. So we're going to go in order of what the Direct showed us. So we're going to start with Mario Kart World, the newest entry to the Mario Kart series. So what are you guys' thoughts on the new Mario Kart?
I'm excited. I think that the free roaming feature is going to be really fun, especially since you can just kind of explore the maps and you can join it with other people I mean, we're going to get more into this too when we talk about the hardware of the Nintendo Switch 2, but it has like a game chat feature
Yeah, I mean,
with the game so you can talk to people.
yeah, I know what people are comparing to is Forza, where you can essentially just roam anywhere. It's also sort of like GTA 6.
I think the best comparison would be
Guys,
Diddy Kong Racing, actually.
Guys, we got Nintendo GTA 6 before GTA 6.
Literally.
But like I was saying, Diddy Kong Racing, those have a bunch of vehicles too, but very similarly, it had a very open world, similar to this game. But of course, Mario Kart World is a lot more recent, and it goes even crazier. And I think one feature that Griffin really liked was this cool wall jumping feature, right? You want to talk about that?
The wall jumping.
The drift, like drifting along the rims.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you're able
the-
to grind on the railings. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a cool feature, but I also want to say, like, I like how there's, like, more characters. Like, there's the dolphin with the goggles, the penguin.
Don't get me started.
And then
Yeah.
you can literally play as, like, a Bullet Bill. You can literally drive as a car that's Bullet
Why are we
Bill.
not talking about the cow from Moo Moo Meadows?
Yeah.
Everyone
I was
else
gonna
is
get
talking about the
there.
cow from Moo Moo Meadows.
Okay.
I do want to say,
The bonefish.
there were a few other ones that don't see that you guys probably haven't heard. If you guys know the Condor enemy from Super Mario 3D
Oh yeah,
World,
I know what you're
that's
talking
going to be a racer.
Yeah, there were some characters that were missing though. Like there's no Link or Inkling.
Or Diddy Kong.
I'm totally fine with them just staying with Mario.
I feel like
characters.
you're just going to start off with, like...
Unpopular opinion. I'm kind of sick of them crossing over characters in the Mario Kart.
well,
that
I
is what
agree.
Super Smash
Hey,
Brothers is.
hey,
for.
editor,
I agree.
Can we put
That's
a
fair.
picture of the Sting Bee? It says that the Sting Bee is playable. The Sidestepper enemy is also
Yeah,
in the
crap.
game.
And wasn't there like a certain character from Super Mario Sunshine?
Yes.
That you're...
Yeah.
Cataquack. I'm very excited
yeah,
for
they're
that little
pretty
boy.
fun.
That's what I'm gonna. Oh yeah, we should go. Who are we gonna main in this game? I would like to play as the Cataquack.
Like
and-
out of the new characters,
out of all the characters.
I think I'm still gonna stick with my girl Rosalina. Rosalina, if you're watching, call me.
I gotta.
But I'm also gonna play the cow from Moo Moo.
Yeah, no. After seeing the cow, it was love at first sight. So I'm just gonna go cow for life.
Yeah.
I have to go with the dolphin. No, the dead fish is
Dead fish?
The
Dead
bonefish
They're just letting anyone drive
is
these cars
hilarious
now.
because that thing doesn't have any hands.
Does he have a driver's license?
What for?
What makes you think that he wouldn't?
What about you?
I still sell with my Koopa, but if they bring if they include Paratroopa, you know, like a Koopa with wings.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like in the trailer, they showed like food items, like a burger that Mario eats, and then he suddenly transforms into a different
Oh.
costume.
The costumes are also selectable. I saw a video from
okay.
IGN
Yeah.
that
Yes.
they showed that the
I
costumes
did
are also
see that.
selectable in the
That's
starting
good.
screen.
That's
Let me
good.
check the
I got to see
items.
IGN posted a video showing the whole roster.
Anything else you want to talk about before we move on to the next part of the direct?
The only thing I want to talk about is I think the graphics look really good. The art direction looks great.
Yeah.
I'm
It
excited
really
to see
more
the
high
HDR
definition.
on the new Switch
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
It
like
more
they-
colorful,
nice.
more vibrant.
Yeah, like the
So-
courses look so much better than the DLC courses that came out for Mario
That
Kart
is true.
Deluxe.
Next thing they talked about was the game chat and also this little like webcam accessory.
Yeah.
That thing is $50, by the way.
I
Not worth
like the new game chat where you're able to like communicate with other friends online. The camera, no. I don't know if that's really like worth it. I've never been like the kind of like person who wants to show my face to other people online when playing a video game.
Here's the thing though. imagine the capabilities and how easier it would be to stream with the webcam on the Nintendo Switch. If you
make
get
it
the
I
graphic
agree.
card, you could just
Yeah.
have
It
everything.
is very helpful.
Yeah, for streaming, it's going to be much easier.
Shout out to Nick.
Yeah, even though I'm the camera's questionable, I think having like built-in voice chat is very useful because like for the Nintendo Switch, they literally had like some weird connection between your phone and then the Switch, and it just became a mess that no one ever uses.
Wait a minute.
So
There's also
what are you trying to do?
Until March.
Yeah, it's because that's open access. You need Nintendo Online to use Game Chat.
Yeah.
There's also another feature with Game Chat, with Game Share, where you're also able to show your footage to like other friends.
Whoa.
I actually really liked how they showcased that on the Direct because it glitched. It showed in the Direct that it wasn't going to be a clean like 4K video. Like, you know how some
Yeah.
commercials will make it look better than it
Yeah.
actually does? I loved how like as close to transparent as Nintendo's willing to be for that Direct.
Yeah, but you know, I think it's still presentable where you can
Yeah.
like watch
Right.
what other people are doing, and the best thing is it doesn't have to be the same game you're all playing. It could be any game that any of you are playing, and you can just watch it.
Oh,
Tape.
and you can share games, not just like as Jamie pulled up, not just like sharing your screen, but also sharing the game, and only one person needs the cartridge.
Yeah.
Game
For certain games, so we should make that clear
Like-
that it's only for certain.
But
The
still,
one they showcased,
it's
and
there.
probably a big one, is 51 tabletop games. I think that's what it's called.
Clubhouse Games.
Clubhouse games.
Y'all, who wants to play Mahjong?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll say this about the chat. I think it's a good idea, but I think paying for it is kind of ridiculous. And I think most people can connect their Switches to Discord,
Yeah.
and stream them there with friends.
See-
So I don't find it the most useful unless you
agree.
really pay into it and you're a big Nintendo fan. And your other friends are big Nintendo fans
Or you
who
have
also
a boyfriend that
want
Well,
to share
okay,
stuff.
but keep in mind, Carson, that regardless, like you're gonna need to pay membership to play games online. So like if you
well,
don't
not on
have
Steam.
Okay, but
course.
like guys, you all remember being 12, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who had
course.
Xbox Live Gold? Raise your hand.
I did not have an Xbox then, so
Did you have to buy gold to play with friends?
yeah, but it wasn't at a ridiculous price.
Nothing was at a ridiculous price. It was like 2010.
Yeah.
So I
I
mean,
was 5.
Good for you.
Next up, they talked about some specs. Do we want to go into
Yes.
that? So
okay.
it said bigger screen, 120 FPS, vivid
120. Is it
LCD.
120 or 125?
120.
120.
Yeah, and then-
In
vivid
the dock,
LCD.
Yeah, and then
Smoother
1080p for the Switch screen, and
I
then
love that
and then the TV mode it's
The bigger-
4K.
So here's the thing I'm most excited for. The bigger the SNL.
Yep, definitely, yeah.
The bigger
Oh, yeah.
buttons.
The buttons on
For
the
the-
top of the
the side
Joy-Con.
buttons.
the buttons
Yeah,
being
yeah.
bigger are way
The
better.
drive button in Mario Kart. I
Yeah.
have, so chat, pull up my hands. I have baby hands,
Yeah.
and I still don't like how little
Now,
Yeah.
you know, here's
No,
the biggest.
I agree. It's a good
Now,
improvement.
here's the biggest question I have for the Joy-Cons. Will they still have the Joy-Con drift?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
They're gonna
Yeah.
have drift.
Oh, yeah.
But I think them being magnetic is going to
Help.
give it more longevity
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
because
Yeah.
of the different
Yeah,
connections.
and they
I
and
agree.
they and the developer said like they redesigned the Joy-Cons, so I assume like they made like test it out to make sure like it lasts longer at the very least. So I expect to see like not a bunch of Joy-Cons immediately at the start, just like have
How
drifted.
relevant do you think this whole mouse feature is going to be? Do you
I
think
think-
it's
I
going to be
think
a
it's a
lot?
cool
I think it's
feature.
cool.
I-
I really like it.
I was going to say, do you think it's going to be like a lot of the technology they put in that they showcased in things like 1-2 switch, but didn't really fully?
I think
go
more
through?
people are going to use that. My question is like, how much are they going to expand it? Like, what other buttons are going to be used there? And I mean, we'll also have to see how well it is to slide that thing across and how comfortable it is to
also,
click
like
too.
in the direct, they were doing like this. I'm like, is that not being too rough? With
Yeah.
it? Like,
Yeah.
the wheelchair basketball.
That,
which we will
that
talk
looks like
about
a really
briefly.
cool game.
I'm so excited that they
Looks
have
neat.
like accessible games like that.
Yeah,
Because
that's
how many
cool.
games where like you play as someone who's disabled?
Yeah, so I think we can move along now to the different types of games that
Here
Nintendo
we
showed. So, of course, you have like the Switch 2 only games that you can only play on the Switch 2 for its graphic capabilities. And then there's the Switch 1 games you can play over on the Switch 2. And then there's the Nintendo Switch 2 edition games, where essentially they bring over Switch 1 games, but they add more graphic capabilities or DLC that uses the features that Switch 2 has.
I like doing this more, that you can like add the DLC on instead of having to rebuy a game with more stuff, like how they did
Yeah.
with things like
GTA.
Bowser's Fury or like.
GTA re-released like 70 times.
I know, I'm talking about more the Nintendo things where they just re-release with new stuff.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Now here's a question I have. Do you think that the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games are going to be the equivalent to the ports you see on the Switch, where they
Yes.
just like release multiple versions of them that are like full price?
Yeah.
Well, they're not full
Are
price.
you asking,
Can't
do
you
I
add
think
them
that
on?
Nintendo is a capitalistic
You probably
corporation?
can,
The
but
answer is yes.
Didn't the whole thing is you can add on through like a less price to
I guess
the base game?
that is
Yeah,
true.
If you already own the game, and
Yeah.
it carries over in your library. So say you bought Breath of the Wild and you're like, shucks, I don't want to have to rebuy Breath of the Wild. They're like, you don't have to, just buy our $30 DLC. That makes it, it gets a new graphical. Also, I have a question.
Yeah.
What do you think that the Switch cartridges are gonna taste better? The new ones.
I like how
Like, if
they're
you lick
red. I like that they're red now.
Do you
so
think that makes them cherry flavored?
I'm hoping so because I really like cherry
Griffin,
flavored
take one
stuff.
for the team and lick it.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Take one for the
I
team
do
and
want to
lick
say
it.
how it seems like a lot of the things that the Nintendo Switch 2 editions are a lot more like substantial content. Like I know the Mario Party one had like a bunch of different new.
Yeah. No
pretty
boards.
much
Party Live.
Yeah, no boards unfortunately, which my dad is like disappointed on. But there's still content there that looks to be a lot of fun.
Can we talk about the Breath of the Wild GPS?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
After you get to a certain point in the game, you can get a Korok map that shows you the Korok seas that you missed. And it'll literally say, go north for so many miles, or so many kilometers. It's literally a GPS. And it looks like they're making fixes, because you guys were talking about the Nintendo Switch app previously, and how it wasn't really that good. But they're making upgrades to it for the Nintendo Switch 2, and it's gonna be more like a companion app to these games.
Yeah. And then Kirby the Fire Island is literally just
It
DLC.
looks so gorgeous.
Yeah,
I
I think.
want Kirby so bad.
Yeah, I think out of all the Nintendo Switch 2 editions that look the most interesting, I would say Kirby the Forgotten Land looks.
I
Yeah,
agree
that's
with
really
you because
good.
I really like their Starcross DLC of how like a giant meteor just hit this like forgotten world and turned into a more crystallized apocalypse.
I really liked Kirby in the Forgotten Land.
It's basketball time.
Yes!
Oh yeah,
LeBron James.
yeah.
Wheelchair LeBron James.
So yeah, this game here, it's essentially the Switch 2 equivalent to ARMS, where it takes advantage of the new controls.
Mouse
so
mode.
yeah.
Holy crap.
It's called Drag X Drive.
Dragon's Drive. Okay.
Drag extra.
All right.
I'm better than you.
Why are you looking at me? Griffin's the one that made up the name.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
the heck?
So
So
Dragon
we're going to talk about this.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I think we should make more games where you play as like
Yeah.
disabled.
Now-
because it can make. I know how important representation is for a lot of people,
I'm-
especially with games having like new accessible ways to play, like different types of controllers for people who have various disabilities.
Yeah, the Xbox came out with one of those. Yeah, for
Yeah.
people.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. Like, what they showed here is cool, but I'm worried that it's gonna be like bare bones. Like, after you play a couple matches, there's not gonna be much for you to do, and it's like a full price game. So, do you think there's more than what's being shown here?
I think that it's gonna be competitive and it's gonna have the longevity of like Rocket League.
I think it'll do better than ARMS. I'll say that.
Yeah. So actually, we need a sidetrack here because we skipped on the welcome to the Switch game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a game where
I skipped over that on purpose.
Okay, I actually have some gripes about this. Why are you making people pay $30 to $40
For the
No.
Good Irony game.
A
for
demo.
the demo
Actually,
game?
actually,
gonna
I
say-
heard that it's apparently like $10 to $15, which
That's still too much. Astro's Playroom was free. It
Yeah.
came with my PS5.
Like-
this should come with the Switch.
like you don't get something from IKEA and then you open the box and you have to like pay extra for the instruction manuals on how to.
Yet.
For $10 to $15, you can play the Hood Irony Nintendo Switch 2 game.
If it
I
was
think
any
even
other
EA would
company,
make that shit free.
Even EA, Xbox would make that free.
We'll make
This
you
is a
pay.
Nintendo
Yeah.
move. That's slimy. It's ridiculous, and it's anti-consumer.
I think we need Reggie, if he's made back, to tell them that should be bundled with the Switch.
Like this is actually
Reggie?
seriously ridiculous.
Reggie Fils-Aimé, the former president, or former
My
Nintendo
body is
president for
ready.
North America.
He's the Nintendo guy.
That's who said my body is ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like a purple Pikmin.
I thought that was.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Reggie.
Yeah. Anyways, now we're gonna do a lightning round of all the third-party games that got announced. Cause man, compared to the Switch, there was a lot.
Yeah, the first one, let me say this. To actually see how well the Switch holds up in terms of graphics, let's see how it runs with Elden Ring and Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Let me say that.
Yeah.
It does not run well on either the Xboxes or the PlayStations that well.
I think we're skipping the biggest news in this direct. We got something we never got. We haven't gotten in like 6 years.
I wonder
A
if Sky's
release-
gonna talk about Silk Song.
A release window for Silksong. It's
But-
coming out this year.
But they only talked about it for 5 seconds, so we're gonna talk about.
How do you know if
tell
that's
me.
real?
because they confirmed it.
Yeah.
Team Cherry confirmed it
So
after the direct.
Sponge.
Elden
You look
Ring.
like
Yeah.
a cherry.
I also want to mention that like Madden is in the Switch too, because like
Wait.
Madden was not in the Switch at all, or I
This
think
is
the
the one-
Wii U either.
That's
Like,
what Griffin
so-
Yeah, I
was
was talking about this one.
yeah, it's a huge step up for the Switch 2 to get games that just refuse to go on to Nintendo Switch for the longest time.
Yeah.
All right, Griffin, talk about Hitman.
Like, Hitman looks exactly like how it ran on my Xbox One. I think it looks phenomenal on Nintendo Switch 2. Like, IOI.
These graphics are good.
These are
Holy
so
crap.
real graphics, guys.
Year
Are we done with
before
our lightning
Deus
round?
Ex was there.
I assume so. What the-
Yeah.
they
So
also
I
showed
we haven't talked
Borderlands.
about.
What is this? Oh,
Jamie, this is the thing you were excited about.
yeah.
Not Yakuza.
Yakuza! Yakuza on the Switch, that's the big deal.
Yeah, no, that's exciting.
If for those who don't know, I'm a huge Hyrule Warriors fan, and they announced a new one, the third one, and
In-
I'm very excited
In
for
the
that.
style of the Breath of the Wild.
They already did one of that.
Yeah.
They
did.
did.
That's
This
Age
is
of
a
Calamity.
To that.
Is this?
I didn't know
I
about
believe
that.
it's a prequel to Tears of the Kingdom.
Just like how
No,
Age of Calamity
they-
was
It's
a
not like
Zelda
a
travels
prequel
into the
'cause
past.
Yeah, it's not a prequel because it
I
takes
would
place
like
during Tears of
to
the
give
Kingdom.
context. Age of Calamity is like this weird time travel alternate reality world thing. Well, it's still in the main timeline, but like it doesn't have really any context
It's some
on
kind
the
of
game.
timey-wimey.
That's a good reference.
Editor, edit in Brian David Gilbert doing the Zelda timeline.
I will say what I'm looking forward to the most in the new Hyrule Warriors game is to see more of Ganondorf in the Breath of the Wild universe, because we don't
I'm
really see him that much.
Hyped to play as Zelda.
Oh my
That
god.
is true.
All right,
Oh,
yeah.
Wind
So
Waker.
GameCube, they focused on Wind Waker.
Hey, keep your own
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, wait, no, but they mainly
I think it
focused.
was called
They
Zelda.
focused on Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2
Calibur,
with
And
Link
F-Zero.
and
F-Zero.
F-Zero. So yeah, those three are going to be
F-Zero
launched.
fans sure are eating good tonight.
Yeah, they are.
All two of them.
For once.
Yeah, but those three are going to be on the Switch 2 day one. But
I
they,
do like that they're releasing a new GameCube controller.
Well, for Nintendo Online, is that you're able to play on the other consoles. Like you could play a game on Switch 2 and Switch 1 together.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Cross-platform.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Cross-platform.
The Pokemon games are also available too on the GameCube.
Oh yeah,
which
those.
is also really neat because they don't really
real
release them
high
a lot.
energy.
Yeah, and those
Yeah.
are like
Let's-
highly
let's
well
let
regarded.
Sky
Let's
talk.
let Sky
Yeah.
cook in this.
All right, guys, you guys don't know this. I'm neurodivergent. I know you guys couldn't tell by how I've acted literally the entire time I've been on camera. Deltarune is finally finished. He's releasing chapters 3 and 4. Chapters 3 and 4 didn't
I
come
thought there
out
was
yet.
5.
No, because there's only two were released.
No, I thought there were gonna be 5 in total.
Are there gonna be 5 in total? It's almost finished.
Yeah.
But this is like Toby Fox released that it's gonna be on the Nintendo Switch too, and I'm like super excited because I haven't been able to play Deltarune since my first year of college.
Deltarune
Wow.
tomorrow. Put that
That
meme.
feeling when Deltarune is tomorrow.
Put the Deltarune tomorrow meme in, editor.
All right, is there any third-party stuff you want to talk about before we get into our last
Wait, what else?
three?
There might be.
What else?
There's the from.
Borderlands.
We don't need to-
Civ?
Anything to talk about Borderlands?
No.
I mean, I hope it
What is this?
runs well on the Switch. I
Uh,
know they're
what is
releasing
this?
other games on the Switch
don't-
as well.
Does anyone remember what this is?
They didn't really show it much because by that point the stream was crashing.
What
Essentially,
is
just
this?
froze.
Is this Switch Sports?
No,
No,
it's
it's
like
something different.
Switch Sports Resort?
Guys, you
Guys-
solve puzzles.
Guys, this might be the game of all time. There's like this game.
Yeah.
Dusk
Saw
Blood.
Cloud Strike.
Talk about Dusk Blood.
So
and there's
Dusk-
another game
Dusk-
we need to talk about.
Dusk Bloods
Yeah,
is
Dusk Blood.
a Square Enix game that seems to be exclusive to
Nintendo?
to the Switch.
Yeah, at least
Switch
for
or
now.
Switch 2?
At least for now.
I don't know.
Probably.
Probably
Yeah.
Switch 2.
This is
Yeah,
yeah,
just-
Switch 2 Direct.
This
Just
is
Switch 2.
This is pretty big because the Dark Souls and the Dark Souls franchise has usually been pretty close to PlayStation.
So this is
Um,
Soulsborne?
This is a Soulsborne, most likely.
It's apparently a multiplayer game, which, I mean, it makes sense because they were heavily promoting the voice chat feature, so I think they want to have this game on the Switch to go alongside with the new voice chats. I don't know. That's-
That's a big question mark on that one.
It
Yeah.
definitely looks very interesting. So this looks like it's going to be a very big release.
Should we talk about the best game in this direct?
Metroid Prime
Kirby
4.
Racing?
Kirby Air Riders.
Kirby Air
you couldn't
Riders.
even get
Kirby
the
Air
name.
Riders, awesome. Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a
Well,
Kirby racing
the
game.
thing-
Bro
So I'm
just skipped
looking-
right to DK.
So I'm literally looking
Well,
forward
the thing
to.
is, this we didn't get. It would probably be more exciting if we got any gameplay like at all.
Yeah.
It was just a trailer.
Yeah, it's a,
But it looks
that's-
good.
Jamie, when he finds out what a teaser trailer is.
Is that to be excited about?
Yeah, it's highly well regarded, but just like other Geeky games, it's like well overpriced. So having the opportunity to play Kirby Air Ride again, but with a sequel, it's awesome. And also, it's being directed by Sakurai, so you know
Well,
it's
yeah,
gonna be.
There
it's a
were
Kirby game.
the Kirby. He hasn't done a Kirby game in like decades.
Kirby's dad finally came back from getting milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is very exciting.
Masahiro Sakurai.
Yes.
Sakurai.
It's
I-
not Sakurai.
I think the game is very exciting. This is a big one. I really like to see how they do the this. I forget. I think it's called like City Raid or something like that. It's essentially a really cool idea where you
I think
where
that's
you like
Philadelphia.
haha. It's essentially the idea that you have to find your own cars. You get power ups. It's really kind of neat. It's hard to explain unless you play it.
That sounds like
But
GTA.
it's actually is a little bit like Kirby
You have
GTA.
to find your
Yeah.
own cars.
You do, yeah, you do that.
All
But
right,
let's
so
move on.
yeah, so we're moving on to our last game that was revealed, which is Donkey Kong. Yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza.
DK.
Donkey
Donkey's
Kong.
dead.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Out of all the games that we've seen for Switch 2, this is the one I'm most looking forward to. I have been waiting for a Donkey Kong game, for over 10 years since Tropical Freeze,
Yeah.
and this
This
looks
is-
Which
really.
was
This is the one that blew me
Yeah,
away.
I was gonna say, Griffin, like we got a Donkey Kong Country
doesn't
Returns
count.
HD for the Switch, like
doesn't
this year.
That doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
I think this is definitely the most exciting one because because they're taking Donkey Kong in a new direction.
Yeah.
Having to focus on destructible
Exactly.
environments. I love that in video
This is
games.
like Donkey Kong Odyssey. This is like if Mario
Donkey
Odyssey was
Kong
Donkey
Odyssey.
Kong.
I agree, and this is the first.
Yeah.
This is the
Donkey
second
Kong's
time.
always riding on Mario's coattails.
Yeah,
This is the
he
second
has
time
a-
that Donkey
Or
Kong
his
has
overalls, I guess,
his own
huh?
3D
He's
game.
wearing overalls.
He has his own little buddy like Cappy.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know what his
okay.
name is. Probably
Oh my god, he
Rocky.
does wear overalls.
Yeah.
See, now Donkey Kong's wearing overalls. He's just becoming
this game
Mario.
looks
Well, that shows you
Amazing.
can customize Donkey Kong into different outfits.
Which
What?
you could do in Odyssey.
What?
Exactly, yeah.
You could
When was that announced?
There was
It kinda
footage
showed
of
it in
Donkey
the
Kong
trailer.
just
He's
wearing a
wearing different
tie,
outfits.
and there was other ones where he's wearing like a miner hat.
Yeah,
But-
but yeah, I think the
He's
one.
so ugly. I'm sorry.
I
He's
don't
not ugly.
care.
Oh my
He
God.
looks good.
I-
You're alone on
Yeah,
this.
I don't
it's
think
gonna.
I am.
It's gonna take time for some people to get used to the new design, but
I like the new
but
design.
I think it works
up, it's
well.
growing up.
It's obviously paying homage to the Mario movie, which obviously Nintendo
Paying
wants to
homage to the original. like,
So it's
arcade.
Seth Rogen.
Yeah, that too.
It's Seth Rogen Odyssey.
Yeah, it's
like-
in a way. It's,
Editor,
I
editing
did not
Seth
want to hurt you, sir.
I like how this game makes you feel powerful because there's like I saw Donkey Kong just take a chunk of the map and just throw it.
yeah,
at
you're just
enemies.
changing terrain.
I can take
like
a
you're
chunk
just.
of a map too.
And
All
he
you
could
gotta
just
do is
like
rip the
punch us down the
pretty
ground
cool.
to find like a bunch of items.
Yeah, I saw the Treehouse Direct and like they showed how Donkey Kong works, and I really like how like it's essentially just like you're changing
It's Griffin's
terrain. You're
reaction to what you're saying.
yeah, yeah, you're just changing the terrain. You're just like slamming down into the ground to go into like caves. This is what they show the treehouse, and it just looks a lot of fun. Like Griffin said, it's Donkey Kong Odyssey, but it's a unique twist that I think a lot of people are gonna really like.
Andrew, as a young chimp, he yearned for the mines.
I wanted to get
Oh
my.
my god!
Editor, edit in Jack Black.
I got cut off. I was trying to give my opinion. This game looks really fun, and I'm excited for it. It looks great.
Yeah, and it's
all I
and
wanted
it's
to
coming
say.
out a month after the Switch 2 launches,
I'm
which
far
is
away from one of y'all. I will not be purchasing
Yeah,
this
I
game.
will
It's a-
be getting this game.
I'll buy it
How
without
am
the
I going to
Switch.
afford this?
Oh.
Oh yeah,
We'll start a Kickstarter.
yeah.
Speaking
So
of prices.
yeah. Speaking of pricing,
go.
so this was something that Nintendo didn't address at the Direct at all. Like
Because
literally,
it didn't happen yet.
yeah. So like, we didn't know the price. They just showed the release date being June 5th, which is, like 2 months. That's great, but it didn't show any price at all. It wasn't until all the news reports came out on the pricing. So this could change, but as of now, the regular Switch, like the normal Switch system, is $450. And there's also a bundle with Mario Kart that costs $500.
Which I think is very fair.
Okay, that's not as of now though.
Yeah.
So that is what it's going to be for the rest of the world because of things I'm not allowed to
I
talk
was gonna
about.
say
there are
because of
tariffs.
because of real world events that are affecting our lives right now.
there is heavy tariffs.
Yeah.
Where the Nintendo Switches previously were manufactured, so they have delayed or. Like, I've heard separate things. I've heard that it's going to be either really delayed for U.S. markets for pre-order, or they're just not doing pre-orders for U.S. markets because of the high cost of the tariffs.
But again, like, things should just remain the same. You never know, but that's just the prices for now. Which I think for the system, I think it's a fair price because, like, when you look, I know it's high for other Nintendo systems, but when you look at other systems, especially compared to like the Steam Deck, I think that's fair. Especially with all the features that are built in. Like, there's a lot of parts that are in there that really make it graphically approved, but I think for the most part, people were fine with it.
Talk about that on TV.
It wasn't until like we got to the game parts, like the game prices, where people really started to get vocal about it, to the point where people were just spamming in the Treehouse chat, like, lower the price.
Rightfully so.
All right,
With
I'm gonna. Sorry.
the tariffs. 80 will tweet at 117. Just saying.
Yeah, so
$90.
so
That was a false rumor.
Yeah,
No,
so-
sir, it was going to be 90 pounds.
yeah, that was a
Sure.
Yeah, I
Yes.
looked it up.
Yes, that was a false rumor, but for most Switch games, as far as we know, like Donkey Kong,
Donkey King.
yeah, the Donkey Kong
Random
Bonanza
chip
game,
event.
that's $70, which I get it. Like all the other platforms like PlayStation, Xbox, they're increasing their games to $70. So I
Thanks,
understand,
Nintendo.
but oh well. But the big outrage people have is Mario Kart World, where they jumped up the price to $80.
That's
For the
outrageous.
digital edition.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because the physical one's gonna be
The
cheaper.
physical one is gonna be 90.
That's
That was
What?
a false rumor.
That's
we
a
just
false-
covered that.
Oopsie.
Carson, you're on the bench. Billy, take
I
it.
was over
Billy, you
on
wanna
the
come in?
bench. Billy,
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 You wanna come in?
Billy,
So,
Billy,
okay, actually, we have
Billy.
actually context. So, our friend Billy, who graduated a year
Our
ago,
editor.
yeah, our
Yeah.
editor, he's
Yeah.
back here for a weekend.
Oh,
So
maybe not.
he's in the studio right now, and we're hoping he can come down and share his quick
Can
thoughts.
he get in?
One eternity later.
But yeah, Billy, what do you think of the Switch, and do you think the price is going to increase?
I think the price is definitely going to increase, especially because they're where they're currently manufacturing it's going to get more expensive to export to the U.S. I don't know how that'll affect pre-orders. That'll remain to be seen, but I suggest everyone keep an eye on it and plan accordingly. I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean, right now it's still coming out June 5th, so that hasn't changed, but we don't know when pre-orders are going to come available. But last question for all of you, are you planning on getting the Switch 2
On
in
launch?
near future?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
or launch.
Well, how about we say on launch and then near future? Not on launch. I do want to get it. I want Donkey
No,
Kong.
not on
Not on launch.
I'm getting it on launch. I want those fun bugs.
I want
I'm not
Donkey
paying for
Kong.
Fun bugs?
Yeah, the fun ones. The ones that are like.
The one they don't patch out.
Yeah.
I know I want to get it
Halo,
eventually. I
Nintendo
don't know about
Halo.
launch yet, but
As
at
Halo.
some point I do want to get it because
Switch
yeah,
is
some of the
looking
games
like
are really cool, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of Switch 2 games in the future that are going to be just as fun as what's been shown so far.
It better be.
So I
Yeah.
think seems like our census here is probably, if you're looking to get a Switch 2, probably wait a little bit.
Honestly, you shouldn't get any console on launch.
we're gonna wrap things up here. Thank you so much for your discussion. If you have,
Switch the camera off of Andrew.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, thank you for joining here. If you have any thoughts on the Switch 2, please comment down below. We like to hear them. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and keep gaming, Indiana.
I'm invincible.